Someday down the line, we're gonna have to make decisions. That someday is usually today, probably in a few hours or a few minutes. You're going to have to make decisions in life, often decisions involving trust. Who to trust? Trust in your family, your siblings, trust in government, trust in Santa, whatever. And people you don't know. Can you? Probably. In your life, you're going to find yourself passionately inspired to work on something because you desperately want it to exist in the real world. If you make it accessible to the public or make it a team project, you risk losing some of it or all of it. There are people who, instead of celebrating your success or appreciating the love, care, and time you put into something, will smash it to smithereens, and I don't know why. I want to celebrate your success. I want to see you commit to a multi-generational project and preserve it throughout the ages as a timeless piece of human achievement and innovation. It's a part of our history, but the baser impulses tending towards chaos can have a greater influence on us. That primal urge to throw a rock through a window, and there are people who succumb to these feelings regardless of the context, no matter the situation. We're building the Earth 1-to-1 scale in Minecraft, and yes, Build the Earth got griefed. But before I get into the story of it, I just want to say that these aren't bad or evil people. In most of these cases, it was either a misunderstanding, sometimes it was out of fear, sometimes it was a joke at the wrong time, and sometimes, yeah, pretty much straight up evil. Also, let me just say that this project is amazing, and I feel blessed to be a part of it. Many of the things I'm about to tell you might shock or alarm you, but I want to be 100% transparent with you. No bullshit. And while this may seem like a litany of disasters, just know that this is half a dozen incidences in a project with over 70 teams and hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of buildings. More? Over 99% of which remain safe, which means if you want to join our project, you have nothing to fear of it being lost. Most of these isolated incidents were in the beginning of the project when we were still getting organized. Got it? Great. Now let's sort something out first, because someone destroyed an entire continent. And in order to understand how that's possible, there's a misconception to clear up first. The Build It 1-to-1 series, where we do all the different locations each month, that's my team. But it's just one team and 70 plus teams that make up Build the Earth. Most teams are in charge of one area permanently, as opposed to our team who jumps around. And if you've been paying attention, you may have noticed that we no longer blow up our maps with copious amounts of TNT for fun at the end of each journey. This is because people got carried away. Sometimes we would forget to back up the world. In the case of Monaco, I thought I had zipped the world file, but it was a world file of a different, older event. But I still told people I wasn't entirely sure if I had backed up Monaco, so no using TNT please. Well, they didn't listen and couldn't control themselves. We rebuilt the damage and banned the most involved builders who took it pretty hard. These days, TNT is completely disabled on the server. Now let's talk about American Air. No, not the airline, one of our builders. This guy griefed a church by filling it with water, thinking that the undo would undo all the damage the water caused, not understanding that flowing water and source water blocks are two different things. Anyways, that's not the story. This guy comes from New Jersey, who, according to him, had the spawn that looked bad. This guy is a big fan of speed. No, not the drug, but who knows. The movie, and if you weren't of a conscious age by 1994, you probably haven't heard of it. The idea is, there's a bomb on a bus, and it explodes if the bus goes under 50 miles per hour. Or 55, I can't remember, I was really young. So American decides to impersonate the terrorist on the New Jersey server, plants a bomb under spawn, and threatens to blow it up if his demands weren't met. Something about some quiet builder joining the event going on at the time. They didn't, so he used the terrorist catchphrase from the movie, "Pop quiz, hotshot," and activated the bomb. He sent me this story himself. He also added something at the end here. Don't make me seem like some BTE terrorist. There's also been some errors in new Terra++ versions that have a reset of a world file. Car bombs built to blow up in streets, causing damage to buildings, and people treating Build the Earth like an actual simulation of real life, replicating historical events in the real world. There's even been individuals so toxic that they attempt to destroy everything they see as soon as they get on a smaller server. Then once you ban them, they continue to come back again and again, doing damage to Minecraft servers and discords with spam bots alike. There's been team leaders so salty about losing when an election is held to elect a new team owner that instead of giving up their position, they do damage. And by damage, I mean delete the entire state. But it gets bigger. One of the team owners of one of the entire countries of Europe decided one day that he was bored, so the best way to quit was, instead of giving the country's world files, was just to delete them. And sometime later, he shows up in the server's Discord's announcement channel, not to apologize, but to link the whole Discord, who knew what he had done, to his Twitch channel. He was live with the camera pointed at him sitting on a couch with 3 girls. Utterly bizarre. After they deleted the post and announcements, the guy proceeded to spam ping the entire Discord, spamming the link repeatedly, and since he owned the Discord, there was nothing they could do. So they were forced to create a new Discord for the team, but not before committing one final noble act of kicking everyone from his Discord, since they still had mod powers, so that none of the team had to be subjected to this owner gone off the deep end. They've been rebuilding ever since. But it gets bigger. If you could guess what continent I'm about to mention, what would it be? If you guessed Africa, you would be correct. Africa started innocently with one of my favorite original builders, Rafa, who decided since we didn't have any native African teams, it would be awesome to start for them until they got here. It was mostly for the meme, not a super serious group, except kind of. Look at some of this stuff they built. It makes sense. Most builders being preoccupied with their hometown or country might not be hardcore enough to just jump over to another continent and start building there for fun. But these guys were. One of them was named, let's just call him Lampa. He built a lot in South Africa, Johannesburg, and was one of the founders of BTE Africa. By the time Scott, the current leader, had joined, Lampa was still paying for the server, but was much less active. Then he was really inactive, only saying hi once every 3 weeks. Then, at the beginning of July, he told Scott that he's joining the military and he couldn't pay for the server anymore. When Scott messaged him telling him he was ready to make the transfer happen, he didn't get a response. Then, sometime later, Lampa randomly messaged Sven Owenson, another member of Africa, that they had 4 days to pay for it or he would kill it. That night, hours later, he killed the server by totally canceling the server without making any backups or telling anyone. It was at this point that I became involved. I told Rafa, the original owner, then everyone got involved. The server host luckily held onto the data scheduled for deletion for a month, so it was possible to get everything back. We just needed the login information. So we told Lampa about this. Everyone messaged him, offering him money and time to get this off his hands. He wouldn't respond to anyone. Now, a lot of you may have noticed that I've omitted names for almost all these stories. That's because, as you can tell, some of these people crave attention, and it's best not to give them it. That certainly doesn't apply here. This guy left all the Build the Earth Discords, defriended everyone, removed his profile picture, and renamed his Discord to a collection of random numbers, and disappeared. Africa was gone forever. And since Lampa has obviously abandoned this persona and probably reappeared on the internet at some point with a new identity, no one will ever know that he did this. There will be no consequences. If you end up watching this video, Lampa, I don't hate you for what happened. I don't think you're a bad guy. I don't think this was deliberate. I just think that you are scared. And I wish more than anything that you would have listened to us when we said it's not too late and that we could have talked you out of this. But what's done is done. And I wish you no ill will, and I hope that you have good fortune in your life wherever you end up next. But it's not the end. Even after a devastating forest fire lies an opportunity for regrowth and rebirth. Africa is still a fertile opportunity and has some of the most beautiful nature and unique human architecture in the world, and it deserves another breath of life. So I'm announcing right here that we join with Team Africa and make the most amazing, impactful building event that signifies a new beginning. A new beginning for progress in Africa to restore the spirit of pride and life in a team trying to stay strong who needs a little help right now. So we are going to build Africa 1-to-1 scale just as it stands today. The incredible tundra, the wide-stretching plains, the new growth of metropolises and African urban culture, we're excited for all of it. To recreate it even better than it was before and to remind everyone that Build the Earth isn't just a movement, it's a lifestyle, an identity, a set of beliefs. The belief that we can move mountains and build them 1-to-1 scale in Minecraft. The event is scheduled to come soon. Stay tuned, and if you want to see how it all pans out, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.